Hey, this week on Know Nothing Sports Talk, I've got a special guest, friend of mine. Spent a good part of his career and life inside baseball. Spent about 20 years there. Drafted in '99 by the LA Dodgers. I spent about 20 years playing professional baseball. He's played for the Florida Marlins and the Houston Astros. He holds numerous records inside the minor leagues, just a few of them. He spent about 3 or 4 years, seemed like every year he was taking down a record. With 2016, he took on the all-time home run record with the American Association. 2017, he took on the RBI record with the American Association. 2018, took on two records. One was all-time base hit record with the American Association, and he also achieved a benchmark reaching 500 stolen career bases. 2019 took on the all-time franchise home run record with Winnipeg Goldeyes. Welcome to my show, Know Nothing Sports Talk. Welcome, Reggie Abercrombie. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Charlie. How you doing, man? Doing good.
Doing good. I know we're both chilling at our house with the conditions we're under right now. I don't know. You've played all over the place. Have you ever had to been restricted to one spot while you were playing there? I know you played ball outside the country as well.
Man, I have never experienced nothing like this. It's a pretty much. I mean, it's a bad thing for the country and a bad thing for the world that we got to go through this. But it's also a good thing for like people to be home for their families and stuff, and just to get to know, just to be home with your family and spend family time. And you hardly get to see people staying inside and being with their family and doing family things all the time because everybody's always on the go. Everybody's working to put a house over your head and a roof over your head. So anytime you get to sit at home and just enjoy time with your family, it's wonderful. And I'm spending it now and I'm learning a lot of stuff, learning a lot of homework, a lot of math stuff, and learning just learning how to be a complete father and dad and ready.
Yeah, this situation is unique. And I've spent a good part of my life as well in mobile marketing arena. So I was traveling, especially I spent a long time in NASCAR. So I was traveling 38 weeks out of the year, similar to you with baseball. When you left for spring training, I mean, you were gone for basically the entire year. So this is kind of a wake-up call for a lot of people that live this type of environment, that have families and little ones at the house, and now you're now 24/7, and you're pretty much in a quarantine environment. It's not like, hey, I'm going to run down to the gym or all that's gone. So you get a full dose of what our loved ones have been taken care of while we were out making a living.
Oh yeah, you definitely get a full dose of how great women are in this world, and how with the stuff they put up with when we're gone, or just when we off to work, just the stuff they go through, the everyday grind they go through to maintain the house. And it's a wonderful thing to see, and I appreciate her every day.
Yeah, it's definitely a wake-up call, and I think a lot of us are realizing how well they keep up the house and keep up with things while we're out doing our thing. So much appreciative on that front, and I'm sure everybody feels that way. This stuff is kind of different. It's while you're home, I'm probably jumping ahead on what I want to get to in this podcast, but are you watching any baseball? Are you a baseball fan outside of playing?
Nah, not really. I don't really watch baseball. I rarely watch it. I see a couple of friends I had back in the day playing still, so I barely watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always in that point of like I always miss it sometimes. So I always catch myself grabbing a bat out here and just swinging in the house or something like that, doing something just completely not even remotely fun. So I'm just out here just trying to do regular stuff, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of, all the years that I was in NASCAR, I was a huge NASCAR fan going into it, and then working, still loved it. But when I left that environment, I don't watch much NASCAR. I might click over and catch the headlines and news, see what's going on, but I don't know the environment as well as I used to, just because I don't know, I just kind of drifted away from that. And I think the more I would watch it, is the more I'd want to be at the track.
Yeah.
So probably same situation with you with baseball. Baseball is a different story for me. I'm a fan. I'm a diehard fan. I've got my favorite team, but I also am a huge fan of baseball in general. So anytime I can catch a game, I watch. If I'm out here in my office, other than right now, I've got a TV up on my corner of my wall, so I usually have MLB TV on, watching stuff, or excuse me, or I'm just looking up stats. Just I don't know. I just there's some things that amaze me. I know why I know it. Couldn't tell you. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm a huge baseball fan, so I'm still watching everything, watching old games, watching games from the '70s, and
still locked in, huh?
Yeah, I'm still a fan. Waiting for it to fire back up and get back to work. So
I know, right? I know.
Yeah, it's so pre-baseball days growing up. Obviously, you probably watched a lot of baseball, enjoyed the game. Who was your baseball idol? Did you ever get to meet him? What was that like?
My favorite baseball, my idol was always Ken Griffey Jr. I tried to hit left-handed for a while. It didn't work out for me. So I was right-handed. So love Ken Griffey Jr. growing up. It's just something about Ken Griffey Jr. Man. It's just like he brought like just the swag and just the difference of baseball to a lot of kids that around my neighborhood and stuff. We grew up, we didn't really see. So when Griffey came out, Griffey had his shoes, Griffey had the glove, he wore the hat backwards in the All-Star game. He did all kinds of things that, all kids wanted to do, but we really didn't see it at that time. And when he came out and did it, was, what I'm saying, it brought an aspect to the game like, oh, we can really do this thing. It's just not old school, putting your hat in the back of your pocket or doing something. You can actually put your own flavor to it, and Griffey was that person to do it. And, I got to actually meet him in 2016 in Cincinnati. I was actually struggling a little bit when I went to Cincinnati. I got to get hit on the field early with Girardi and a couple more players with me. Got to hit on the field a little early, and I was hitting, and Girardi's back there talking, and I didn't know he was actually talking to somebody. And Griffey, it was actually Griffey. So I got out the cage. He introduced me to Griffey, and I was like starstruck. So I was like, actually, the first time I never got to talk, like ever had somebody lock me up from talking. So what I'm saying, I was like starstruck from the get-go. So it's like when I seen him, I was like, oh man, this King Jr. So he was like, how you doing, Reggie? And I was locked up. So I was like, and then I was like, how you doing? I'm good. So I was all excited and stuff. Man, that day right there, I called at least 20 people. I called my dad, my mama, my sister, my brother, everybody. I was like, called everybody, my best friend, everybody. So it was just like, it was a great experience meeting your idol and stuff like that. Just having a conversation was pretty fun.
Yeah. So was he everything you thought at that time? I mean, was he down to earth? Did that surprise you the way he communicated with you, or was it because I think a lot of people have this perception of people, whether they're one of their idols and somebody they looked up to, they still have that premeditated perception of how they would be or how they would communicate, or they might be on this at next level where they're going to talk at this level or not really see me as a equal one-on-one communication. Did anything surprise you about that conversation?
No, nothing surprising, man. He is, how I say, he is the best, like the best human of baseball you can ever imagine. He down to earth, talks to you like you're a regular man, and what I'm saying, he doesn't hold himself even though the stature he is, that's King Jr. So, but he's a great person, and what I'm saying, he knows he's just that great of a guy that he talks to people no matter who you are.
So I think people,
and I always heard that about him, and then when I got to talk to him in person,
I think that's how the great ones separate themselves when they're at that caliber in their not only in their career, but in general, in the general public and in their life. When they're at that caliber, I think that's how they really separate themselves as being the great one. I don't. In sports, there's a lot of emphasis on your ability and the numbers that you put up on the board. And I know there was a lot of debate with the Derek Jeter Hall of Fame situation, and no, but I'm like a lot of people. I don't necessarily think your sports stats, your whatever, your stats and your ability to play is what really makes you a great player or a great person. I think it's how you go about your business and how you carry yourself and how you relate that in the general. Whether you communicate well to people, you're willing to pass on that knowledge and just talk them through stuff. I think that's what separates the greats from the ones just playing.
Yeah, it really does, and the greats are always gonna have conversation with people just down to earth, and that's basically how it is, and that's how he was, and that's how a lot of people are in this game. And once you can sit down with a known person and talk baseball, even though you're a Hall of Fame or not, it's a wonderful thing because the person the Hall of Fame is talking to is going to enjoy that and remember that more than anything in the world.
Right. Yeah. That's all. Those moments are, and I've met a lot of people, mostly in NASCAR and stuff, and a lot of those drivers are, they're just down to earth people. They're just regular people out doing their job. They just happen to have that mass platform where they're a household name, but they're just like me and you. I mean, they're just like everybody. They like to have fun and have those normal conversations. So it's good to hear that on other people because everybody doesn't get to hear that side of people. They just put them on, like I said earlier, they're up on that platform, and I wish that there was more outreach to the younger generations in schools and stuff, just to by the professional athletes. I know there's a lot of stuff and a lot of people do that, but to reach out to the high schools and stuff and just have like little seminars and let them know, we're just like you. We came through high school. We struggled in high school too, or we did this. This is how we got through it. But let them know, we're regular people. Just because we've got that big brand out there and we're on national TV, we're still just the regular person. And we play this game because we're competitive and we like to win. We like to play.
Yes, sir.
So I think we've got that competitive drive. The ones that are kind of losing that competitive drive, I think that shows. And there's a lot of aspects behind it. I don't think I know there's a lot of debate sometimes that whether somebody's playing because they love the game or playing because they love the money. I don't think that's necessarily reflective of how they're playing. There's a lot of, and it goes in everyday life, and baseball players are the same. And you can probably attest to it. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Everybody's got their daily struggles just like everybody else.
Yeah, everybody got daily struggles, man. Like I tell everybody, man, money's not everything in this world. But you can also have problems just like anybody who have the 9 to 5 have problems just like the rich people or the rich baseball player, whoever they are. We still have problems going on in this world. So, my thing is God made everybody. So it doesn't matter if you're a baseball player, football player, the money, everybody is the same to me. Yeah. And we all bleed red, man, once something happens. So, I don't that's one thing my mom and dad always provided to me and told me and to tell my son and everything. Just be the same person you are, no matter how much money you got, how much success you are. You know what I'm saying? It can all be gone like that. So, just be the same person.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely. You got to stay true to yourself and be who you are. Which leads me into I kind of use that to lead up to my next question with you. Who was because dealing with the daily struggles, and as you tested, I mean, baseball players got the same struggles that everybody's got, and you have your ups and your downs. Who was who mentored you the most in Major League Baseball and minor league baseball that helped you get up to the show? Who was the one that did the most mentoring that you turned to when you had those struggles, or somebody that just seen you were struggling with something and stepped in and said, "Hey, let's take a deep breath. Let's do this. Try this. Let's try to get you going."
All right, well, I got two people. So, you know, when I first started getting good, when I first started seeing the struggles, the hard struggles, I had a hitting coach named Pat Harris. Pat came up with me when I was in the minor leagues all the way to, I mean, when I was coming up when I was a young baby all the way to double A. And Pat Harris always told me, you always got to look at this game. He's always told me in this game, he's like, you always going to have struggles. He's like, look on TV. People who making $20-30 million they have struggles. You know, it's not who struggles, it's how long you go through that struggle and how fast you can come out of that struggle. If you're gonna sit here and struggle and mope about it, you're gonna completely be in that struggle for a long time. So if you know how to handle that struggle and you come out of that struggle as fast as you can, and it just stuck in my mind that, you know, anything you're gonna struggle on anything. To become a strong person in this world, you're gonna have to struggle. So if you don't go through struggle, you don't know how to get out of it. So you know what I'm saying? That's anything in life. If you struggle in the job or struggle in baseball, whatever it is, if you don't know how to get out of that struggle, you're gonna completely be in that struggle for the rest of your life. So, you know, if you know how to handle struggle, it's a great thing to do. It's a great thing to go through in life, the struggle. So, you know, my dad and my mom, I seen them, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to say this all the time, but like I seen them struggle. So, you know, and I seen them struggle and I always seen them come out of it. You know, my dad never held his head down, never said, hey, you can't have this, man. You know what I'm saying? I always see him go to work hard every day and struggle to pay bills, struggle to do this. And, you know, he never gave up on it. And then he kept going and kept grinding. And, you know, he got where he needed to be and took care of us and did the best thing he could do for me and my sister. And, you know, I love him for it. And like I say, struggle is a great thing to go through. And Pat Harris did that for me. And that just stuck in my mind. Like he always said, gonna struggle. It's how fast you come out of that struggle. And then when I did go to the big leagues and came back down, that was the hardest thing for me. Because I stayed up there the whole 2006. 2006 came down, and then I went back up half a time in 2007. And 2008, I got traded to the Astros, and I had one man that tell me, Dave Clark, he's the big league first base coach for the Detroit Tigers now. So Dave Clark always told me, he was like, look, he always told me this main thing. He was like, you better have fun because this thing is short. He said, once you think this game is, you got to figure it out, it can knock you down. And that's what you're going to have to go through. And he always told me, like, struggle. Yeah. If you don't struggle, it's gonna happen. So deal with it. You know, become a man, deal with it, and move on. And he was always, like, Dave Clark was always hard on me about stuff. Like, like, I was always hard on myself. Like, if I struck out, because I had like, everybody know, like, I always had a problem with, like, everybody telling me I struck out a lot. So he was always the first one to tell me, hey, you strike out, you strike out. So who cares? At the end of the day, you still got to go hit again. You still got another at-bat. You still got another job to do. Go play defense or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He was like, if we have a problem, if you're struggling or you can't get something, I mean, struggle is like, he was like, at the end of the season, if you hitting 200, then we struggle that season. But down in the season, you hit 280, 290, and you struggle out 20 times, 100 something, 200 times or whatever, you're not struggling. You just need to make an adjustment. And that's what it is. He was like, struggling is not struggling. Struggling is the adjustment. If you know how to make a fast adjustment. And if you used to go out here and see all these superstars that play in this game, like Mike Trout, he might struggle like 2 or 3 games, but then he'll make the adjustment.
Right.
Or he might have one at bat. That's a great example. Mike Trout is a great hitter, but if he had that one at bat, I love watching him play, by the way. If he had that one at bat, he misses a pitch or something like that, he comes back, and that next at bat makes that adjustment. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he's a great player and a great athlete. Aaron Elder's the same way. You know, that's why they're great hitters and great athletes to play this game. They forget about that at bat before. It took me a long time to forget about at bats. You know, and that was hardly my problem when I was made to the big leagues. I always took it at bat. Like if I strike out that first at bat, I was always done for the game instead of making an adjustment. I always try to make an adjustment the next day. If I struck out that first at bat, I'd be like, my whole game was done because I was like, I'm always thinking about it. Somebody saying, already struck out again, or worried about the manager looking at me, oh, this is what he do, he strikes out. So I was always worried about somebody else and saying, don't worry about it, got another at bat. And it's great to see Mike Trout, Aaron Nola, all these great batters all these great hitters that go up there and they strike out. And you be like, what? Hey, Mike Trout struck out. And next at bat, he comes up, pow, double, home run or something like that. And then you be like, oh, well, he didn't really care. And then that's the mentality of the great battles and the great strugglers of who struggles and who does not struggle that much. Is like, just watch them and see how they go about their game. And it's amazing how they go about the game, make adjustments through at bats, or even make adjustments doing pitches. And Mike Trout, great hitter. Like I said, again, he makes adjustments through pitches and at bats. So, you know, that to me, that's one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life, just to see him. I could see Mike. I watched one time, I think it was like last year, I seen Mike Trout look silly on one pitch. Looks completely silly, the ball, you know what I'm saying? He was out in front, and then next two pitches, he tried to come back with that same pitch to strike him out by a 3-run home. And it's just them guys that can pick up that moment and to pick up that kind of ability to go do that through pitch. And it's already, to play this game is already hard.
Right.
To make adjustments through a pitch, that's unreal.
Yeah. So your great hitters, and just even your average hitters, a lot of them are able to make that adjustment up at the show level. Is that one of the biggest struggles in the minor leagues? Because there's a lot of great talent in the minor leagues. I watch all the different divisions. And there's a lot of great talent across the board. Do you think that's one of the key mindsets that some of the younger players have, is putting that last at bat behind them and only face the one in front of it? How much of that is playing in the back of their head that's actually preventing them to make that next step?
That has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with it. That has a lot to do with it, man. I've seen a lot of great people, a lot of great talented people that play this game and that could play, like, run fast, hit, and everything like that, but couldn't get that drive, like you said, to make that adjustment and that give up that at bat. I see, you know what I'm saying? I seen a lot of guys that get frustrated and throw bats and hit stuff and take that thing to the next at bat, and that's kind of the reason they didn't make it to the big league. But they had all the talent in the world, you know, and you see that all the time.
Yeah, I wondered that often, and kind of had that thought process at the same time. It's like it's baseball is such a mental game, and wondered how much of the younger players were letting that affect their hitting and their fielding. Because once something's, and it goes on just not in baseball, it goes on in everything. Any job you have, there's a lot of mental to your game, and a lot of people, whether it's just one at bat when you have 3 or 4 during the game, can't make that adjustment because it gets in their mind. Same thing in other jobs. They might not succeed on one project, but now that's in their mindset, and they can't make that adjustment. I've had a lot of people say to me, you know, yeah, but it didn't work the last 2 times. And my mindset is, yeah, but this is the 3rd time. If I knock this out of the park, I'm still batting .333. What's the problem? So, and going into that, you know, I like to use baseball analogies on different things, just like that one there. And I've actually used that several times. Like, yeah, I fail at stuff, but I don't care. I just got to hit it once. It doesn't matter. I'm still hitting .333. You're not even up to the plate because you're sitting back. I mean, you can't play the what if game and know what would happen if you're not even going to get into the game. So, so I often wondered that. And then on that aspect where you've had some mentors where they've helped you through those struggles, you know, and I know every team has their batting coaches, their hitting coaches, and you know, and the struggles on that. How much of that plays into the mindset? There's always better ones that are able to break through that barrier. How much of it is being on not so much on the right team, but having the right coach, mentor that knows how to communicate that and get that through and get you over that hump?
Oh man, that means a lot. So I mean, just like you said, that right there means a lot. And to have somebody that's in your corner it means a lot to. I mean, it meant a lot to me to get why I've been to the big leagues. It meant a lot to me, like I said, to have mentors that'll back you. You know what I'm saying? In this game, you have a lot of people, a lot of coaches and a lot of front office people that goes into the meetings and goes in and just have people don't even really know you, just have you on the board and says, oh, this kid right here can't hit, can't field, can't do this. But yet still, he might have all the talent in the world, and all he needs is just a little person, somebody to be there for him to grind, to let him know, like, look, you are good. You are going to be a great player. So, stop worrying about who says this and this and this and this, and worry about you. Go play. And that meant a lot. Like I said, Dave Clark did that for me, and Pat Harris did that for me. And without them through that struggle, I mean, I don't think I would have made it to the big leagues or got the time that I got up there. So, that does play a big part into stuff, because you have, like I tell you, man, you have kids that get drafted in the later rounds that could be, I mean, it's way better than the first rounders. They just haven't hit the peak. And then when they get to that one, they haven't hit that peak or haven't had that person to be behind them to drive them. And once they get one person that believes in them and say, hey, I'm with you, we're gonna do this, let's go. And that means a lot, and they take off. But like I say, in this game, it's so much people that goes on by paper. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's the thing that baseball is getting away from. They always think it's about paper now. It's about analytics, and it's not about going to see kids and see the talent and see how you know what I'm saying. Oh, how can he handle this? Can he handle this? It's all about analytics now. It's not about numbers now. It's not about how kids, you can watch him and how the scout look at him and be like, oh, this kid got talent. He can go places or something like this. Now it's all about a spray chart and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, that's a great thing to have in baseball, that analytics and all that. But also, to me, I think they need to get back to the old type of, like, going to watch the kids, see what he does and stuff, situations and stuff like that. And to me, I think we're getting away from all that.
Yeah, I'm sitting here smiling the whole time you're saying that inside, because it reminds me, there's a movie out there, and I think it's called Can't Hit the Curve. Yeah, love that movie. I've watched it probably 3 or 4 times in the past 2 weeks, and it actually touches on that, because you've got this new guy in the organization who doesn't even go to the ballpark. He relies on computer stats, things that are being fed up. Where you have an actual scout out there. He actually goes to the ballparks, and he actually can tell what's being pitched or what the hitter's doing by the sound of the contact, sound of the pitch. And that's actually brought up the difference between actually seeing what's going on and the analytics side of it. And then the other part of that, what kind of played into what we were just talking about, mentoring, having a good mentor. In that movie, they had a hitter he was a top prospect. He was in a batting slump, and that scout realized, he's been away from home for this long. All he needs to do is see his family. Yeah. Got his family in there. Boom, he started right back on his hitting streak. So a lot of that plays into effect, and there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes, and I don't think the everyday baseball fan might not realize that. They see the stats, they watch the stats, they watch the games, but there's a lot that leads up to getting those great players in that position.
Yeah, like another thing, I see, like, I've seen a lot of talent come out of the Dominican Republic. Like, you have cats, like, they got a lot of great players in the big leagues, but you had a lot of great players that never made it to the big leagues. And it's because of them kids coming over here at 16, 17 years old, and they ain't got their mom and dad. They don't get to see their mom and dad for a whole year during that whole season. So it's like, and then when they do go play winter ball in their own country, and you be like, dang, man, you over here hitting 450 in the winter ball. Man, these cats throwing gas every day, man. You facing this every day. But you come over here hitting in the States, hitting 200. Yeah. Some of them to me is some of that is right. I mean, because they miss their family. Like, I go play, like, I've played in winter ball and do all those companies. You do get lonely. You do miss your family when you're going to play winter ball and stuff like that. And then when you're going through a struggle over there in the winter ball countries, it's like, you never know. They might be bringing another player. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or something like that. you never know. You might, you know what I'm saying, you over there, but one day you get your girl or your family over there, you bam, you back in the winter ball, you back over there raking because you seeing that friendly face all the time. You seeing that face that you come home and you're comfortable now. It's like, oh, okay, cool. This is what I'm doing it for. This is like, I got my family. This is what I'm doing it for. And not being over there and struggling, and then you like, I'm over here in a different country by myself. I don't really know the language. You know what I'm saying? And I commend every Dominican, Venezuelan, Colombian, all the Latin kids that come over to the United States. They leave their families. You know what I'm saying? And to leave your family and then come over here and try to learn a different language, like how we go over there and play winter ball. That's tough.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's
big
tough for anybody. Yeah, that's a tough thing for anybody. But you know, and that's the stuff you got to deal with, and
part
you
of
got to
changing.
feel. Yeah, that's got to shape you up to be a man, and you know, and that things. If you know that's what type of person you are, my whole thing is say your duckies up, say your little money, so that way you know, okay, if I hit a struggle, I need mama out here, I need my girl out here, I need my kid out here. You know what I'm saying? Save that money. Just think about your mind and think about, okay, this is what I need when I struggle. You know what I'm saying? This is what I need when I struggle, so I don't struggle long. I say I'm gonna save this money for my girl or my mom or somebody to come see me in case I do get the struggle. I need to see a friendly face that I know when I come home after this game. I need that person to tell me, "Oh, it's okay, baby. It's okay. It's gonna be all right." And then take my mind off the game, so when I do get to the field tomorrow, I'm not thinking about last night's game.
Right.
You know, I think that's some of the things that I think that that's some of the things that I think that these baseball teams need to do when these kids do get drafted and stuff. You need to have like get them kids, hey, in their first year or their first year, fly, say, hey, here's the bonus money. Yeah, you get bonus money. Yeah, everybody wants that. Everybody needs. But like also throw like, oh, you got 2 tickets for during the season, 2 tickets to fly your mom and dad out, your girl out 2 times. Get them 2 tickets to fly somebody out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just in case, you know what I'm saying? Because you miss stuff like that. You miss your family and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I actually wondered that too. How much is played into that with the younger ones coming up? How do the teams recognize that the social part of it? Because I mean, you go out there, you make all these new friends, but you're still living in a new environment. You're
Yeah.
the dream. You're trying to concentrate on so many different levels and what you've got to do here and what you got to do there. Um, the family side, that missing takes part, and then it just kind of evolves and sometimes snowballs where the younger ones can't get it. And so I always wondered, what do do they have their coaches? They got a lot going on, but do they have somebody dedicated to recognize this kind of stuff and create that social? I mean, years ago, I mean, the social platforms that are there now weren't available.
Uh,
Back in the '90s, me and you aren't sitting here in 2 different states doing this interview.
no, sir. No,
So,
nah.
I always wondered that. Do you stay in touch with any of your teammates from either system, majors or the minors?
Yeah, I stay in touch with a couple of people. You know, now and then. You know, I check on. I got check on Dontrell on his Instagram and stuff like that. We'd say what's up, what's going on, but that's about it. You know, I stay with my homeboys in the minor leagues. I stay with my homeboys from the independent ball, James Harris, Picacello, all them cats, and try to stick up with them and stuff like this, and Carl, and just see how they doing and stuff like that. You know, just to see what's everybody doing after baseball. And just a lot of kids, man, that you know what I'm saying I was coming up with that are doing very well, you know, for their life. And you know, I'm happy to see that and everything, and everybody else is doing up. You know, I never, like, even myself, I never thought I'd have the opportunity what me and you doing right now to travel and be back in baseball and not be on the field and do NASCAR and stuff like that. I never thought this day I would ever do this right here, but I never knew what I was doing after baseball neither. So it's kind of fun to just see what everybody's doing and catching up again. Yep.
Did anybody that you played with at any time ever reach out to you and say, hey, you really have this pitcher's number? I'm struggling against him. What's the key? How are you getting him over the fence and I'm putting the balls in the dirt?
No, ain't nobody. No, I can't remember. I can't. No, No, I don't think nobody ever did. Nobody ever called. Actually, uh, actually, nobody ever called me. But I always had one dude that always got me out, no matter what we was. Minor leagues, minor leagues, independent ball. His name is Heron. He played in the minor leagues against me. His Heron, we always call him. I call him Big League Heron because I never could hit off him. Man, he had something about him, even in minor leagues, all the way to independent ball. I could never figure him out. And then the year before last, he got on my team and actually told me what was his sequence against me every time. And that's actually the home run, the franchise home run I hit off him to win the game. That's the walk-off I hit off him. I have never, ever got a hit off him, and then I hit the walk-off.
That was an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he always, and I don't know if he always meant to. He always did this. He always got me out with that pitch. He always got me out. He'll throw hard inside, and then he'll throw breaking balls down the way, and then he'll always like throw a slide in for a strike. And I never be ready. I'll never be ready for that slide for a strike. Or he always try to bag one up. And he got me first pitch, I swung and missed. Second pitch, slider, swung and missed. And then he threw that, backed up a little bit, and I got him. The first time, that's when I walk off and started. And then the thing about me and him, like we didn't like each other in the minor leagues and stuff. And then we got on a team together and became good friends. I still talk to him to this day. And when I hit the home run, the walk-off, and the franchise record, when I went in that night, he was the first person that texted me and tell me congratulations, man. And like we went out that night and partied and stuff like that. But no, he was the first person to tell me that was a great job and stuff like that. And he was like, "You remember what I told you last year?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that was one of the best moments in my career. And that's one of the best moments in my career since I made it to the big leagues. That was one of my best moments because of some fact that it was off him. He's a good friend of mine, and that moment was big to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I think I actually had notes on something that later I was going to ask you that question. I'm glad you touched on that story. That I remembered. I thought it was an 0-2 pitch, and that you took that one. So let's go back to 06. 2006. I have notes that you had a huge spring training. You batted like 358. Put up huge numbers, 627 slugging, somewhere close to 400 on base. Seemed like this is it. You're headed to the show on that one. What was it like to get the call when you were brought up? Do you remember where you were at and what you were doing when you got that call, or how did that transpire?
Well, Jim Presley. I'm trying to think that year, bro. Ooh, it was a lot of things going on that year, man. A lot of things, because it was like every day that year, I got with the hitting coach, Jim Presley. He always came out every day. When I tell you every day, I mean every day. Every day early, I hit on the tee. I hit. He threw BP to me. We hit early. We hit after practice. Hit everything. And everything was just how he had my hands set up that year. Everything was just clicking in spring training. And I was just having fun, and I was laughing, and everybody in spring training all of us was young. So it was like everybody was there. It was like everybody in big league, you didn't have no big superstars that could be like you can be afraid of, and you know what I'm saying, people talk junk to you or had some people to mess with you. Everybody was young. All of us was babies. So you know what I'm saying, and the only two superstars that, you know what I'm saying, that was big on our team was Cabrera and Dontrell, and they was babies with us. So you know what I'm saying. So it's like they took it to be like they let us know like, yo, this is our team. You know what I'm saying. We're the big guys here. They let us know that from, you know what I'm saying. They let us know that. They didn't tell us, but they let us know that with how they went about their business. You know, Dontrell and Cabrera one are the two greatest players I just came up with. You know what I'm saying. Dontrell came in and worked out, did his bullpen, had all the things set for the pitchers, and to watch Cabrera go about his business. And then like Hanley was coming up with us, and Hanley go about his business. So it was always good to follow them guys to go do what I had to do. And, you know, everything was just clicking for me that year. And Jim Pressey was doing it, and like I said, it was just clicking. And then we was in the old Baltimore Orioles stadium. I forgot where it is. It's in Florida. Old Baltimore Orioles. And I had just got taken out the game. I got took out the game in the 5th inning. I went to the backfield to go run, and Girardi told me to come down to the bottom of the dugout. And he was like, he came down there. He was like, "Did you do your running?" I said, "Yes, sir." He was like, "All right, get everything going." He was like, "You talked to your mom and them, stuff like that, and have you told them to get a flight yet?" And I said, "No, sir, for what?" And he was like, "You need to call your mom and tell them to get a flight to Houston." Okay, he was like, you made the team, big guy. He's like, "Go in there and call your mom and tell her they need to fly to Houston on this day because you on the big league team." And I was like, I didn't expect to be on the team. Like, I don't think nobody expected me to be on the team that year because everybody was talking about, well, you're gonna go to you're gonna go to AA. You're gonna go back to AA and get your swing in the I guess. And then Girardi took a chance on me and was like, "Yo, you're gonna stay on the team. You're gonna be my center fielder." So he was like, "Go call your mom and tell her, you're gonna be in the big league." So I ran in, called my mom. My mom was like, she started crying and yelling on the phone and stuff. And then my dad got on the phone. He was like, "Boy, I'm proud of you. Boy, I'm proud of you." So that was it. That was one of the coolest little things ever. Like, to him telling me in the 5th inning that he could have waited, and like he told me that. So I had all the bus ride. I was so excited. I was all excited then. So it was just like I got told that day, and then the next day, Dontrell Cabrera came up to me and was like, "Man, the grind don't stop." That's one thing Dontrell always told me. He said, "The grind don't stop." He was like, "Now that you on there," he was like, "You got to grind to stay here." He's like, "Nobody wants you to go." He's like, "You got to grind to stay here." So he was like, "Yo, you got to do what you got to do to stay here." He's like, "Ain't no more playing." He's like, "Ain't no more playing." He's like, "Yo, we got to get here, have fun, but stay here." And, I did, and we stayed the whole year. And like I said, I had a great manager that year. And what I'm saying, I always tell people, like, if I had him for the whole time, I think my career would have been a lot stronger, a lot longer if I would have had Girardi. But Girardi stayed up for 1 year, and we had a little situation. So he was like I said, man, Girardi's a great manager, and he's gonna have a great time in Philly. I know that. But all them hitters he got.
Yeah, great one. So leading off, being told there, so you were told in the dugout during the game. How did that? What's that type of comparison? Being told, "Hey, you're going to the show." Compare that to the call when you were told you were going to be signed by the Dodgers.
Oh, there's no comparison. No comparison. Like, the call saying I got drafted was big. Well, like I tell everybody, man, that call was like just saying you got drafted, because I really didn't know about the draft. So it's like, all right. And they was like, "Yo, you getting drafted?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. What does that mean?" They was like, "Yo, you getting drafted in baseball." So I was like, I was confused by the draft. I didn't really know about the draft too much. And, they were just like, "Oh, man, you can get drafted." And I was like, okay. So then when I did get drafted, it was like a surprise to me. It was a surprise. So it was just like, because I was playing football at the time, and it was a surprise to me. But it was a great surprise. But like I say, it was a great feeling. But the dugout call by Girardi, Trump, that right there trumps it. Because to have that moment, and to have that moment, somebody tell you made to the big leagues, the thing you've been dreaming about ever since I was little. I mean, when I was a teenager and stuff like that, to get that actual opportunity to play in the big leagues with, like I say, Griffey and all these people you see every day on TV, and just to be on TV was crazy.
Right. So 2006, you actually, I think it was 2006, you actually made a pretty big splash at one point that year. And some people might not even know that you actually held a major league record for a little while. You hit a monster home run.
Oh, yeah.
The numbers vary depending on where you want to look that up. How was that? Yeah. What did that look like? Because that stayed a record till about 2008, and that's a pretty good feat. Tell us about that hit. Who was the pitcher, and what was it like on that?
Yeah. Oh man, the pitcher was like a lefty, like I think his name Tom Gosling or something like that. I really don't forgot his name. That's something I need to look into because I forgot his name. This fastball got the head out. I didn't really find out how far it went because it's the fact that when I hit it, you see on when I hit it on the video, you see I hit it and I looked for a little while and then I was like, all right, let me go. So I started running a little bit. I really didn't know how far it go, and then at the end you see Dontrell give me a hand thing, and then when I got in the dugout, I was just slapping hands and nobody. And then next thing I know, I had a good friend that played on the team like Jared Hermida. Hermida was like top prospect for the Marlins at that time. He came up to me and was like, "Yo, you know how far that went?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Look up there, like in the third row of the up top." He was like, "Bro, you almost like you like 1, 2." He was like 7 rows under the scoreboard up there. And I was like, "Man, stop playing." He was like, "No, bro, for real. You need to look at that tonight." Man, when I hit it, I didn't really think I got it that I got it good, but I didn't think I got it that good.
Oh, you got it.
So, but it
Monster
was a
truck.
great yeah,
You
it
got
was
it.
a great feeling. Yeah, it was a great feeling, and you know what I'm saying, it was fun. I never known I held a record for like 2 years.
Yeah, you did.
Cause I seen Adam Dunn's. I seen Adam Dunn's, man. That was crazy.
So talking about that home run, how do you feel? There's a lot of talk of the home runs of I call it yesteryear, as opposed to the newer home runs. With all the talk that went on this year, this past year, with the balls feeling different, they're calling them juice, whatever. How do you feel the home runs that were hit previous years compare to that? I don't care. I mean, they can. I think me and you are aligned on this, and I think we've talked before about this. Um,
Yeah.
whether you call the balls juiced or the players are juiced, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. I think we both have the same look on it. You still have to have that hand-eye coordination, and if you can't swing and make contact, that ball ain't going nowhere but the catcher's mitt. So,
Exactly. I
so
mean,
how do you feel that comparison is?
my whole thing is I don't look at the ball being juice. If it's juice, okay. People like home runs, so my whole thing about it is, you know what I'm saying, it's a great thing for baseball. And, you still gotta hit the ball. You still got people out here like Matt Scherzer throwing anything that he Matt Scherzer throwing any pitch for strikes. So, when you got great pitchers like that, I mean, hey, I'm a hitter, so it's like if I get it a little bit, okay. If it go over, if it don't, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But people say the ball juice, but people like home runs, and you know what I'm saying? My thing is about it, you still gotta hit the ball. You got too many, like I say, man, it's it's ridiculous how many great pitchers you got out there now. So you know what I'm saying? And you got great hitters too, but you gotta you still gotta hit the ball. It's one of the hardest things to do in sports. Still gotta hit a round bat with a ball. So, it's still a hard thing to do. And if I'm facing somebody like Matt Scherzer and the ball juice a little bit, I'm pretty happy about it. So
That's
it's
I mean,
what it is.
I'm a home run fan. I don't care if it's batting practice, pregame, or whatever.
Yeah.
I like to see the home runs as a baseball fan, just because of I put it all together with that hand-eye coordination, and I'm a fan of pitchers. I mean, Rivera, Clemens, Pettit,
Oh
you
yeah.
name it. I mean,
Yeah.
they do their thing, and they've got some great velocity and control. And I like to see them. I like to see that put on display. But I'm a fan of home runs. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm on my feet when I'm watching home runs here. I mean, Vladdy Jr. Oh my God,
Yeah.
a beast.
Yeah.
Just to watch him make
He ridiculous.
contact and swing that. I used to watch
Yeah,
his
he ridiculous.
dad play in Montreal. I used
Yeah.
to go to the Montreal Expo games all the time and watch his dad play up there. It's like Vladdy Jr. is a beast. So I mean, I'm a fan of
Yeah.
home runs. I don't care if you're hitting softballs being thrown at you or not. I mean, you still got to make that contact.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Them boys is the balls. They different. You know what I'm saying? They're great. Like I said, great hitters. So you know what I'm saying. Like I watched I did watch the home run derby. Pete, what's his name?
Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Man, they put on the show.
That was an
That
epic
was impressive
battle, and I think that will
impressive.
always be on a Sports Center highlight and always be referred to anytime that subject is brought up, because that was the battle of a lifetime. Never seen
that battle. I think that battle and the one that I think Bobby Abreu beat Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, that was good. But I don't know, man. The Alonso and Vladdy Jr. man, that was just
good?
how could you not be on your feet standing in front of your TV and just my God.
I ain't really watch baseball. Like I said, I don't really watch baseball like that. But bro, yeah, that last year, that home run derby was impressive. I was impressed by it. It was impressive.
That was a display of power, and a lot of people don't associate with stamina playing baseball.
Oh.
To stand in there for that many rounds in that long length of a time, swinging that bat.
Yes.
You've got to have it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So moving back, your transition from the majors back to minors. 2009, you got your free agency, and you went down to Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
Right, played from that for 2010, 2013, and it seems like looking over, you had success there. I know I referenced a few records and stuff at the beginning in the intro with you.
Yeah.
You tend to make a splash no matter where you go. You're a big hit with fans, and you make some big hits in general. You also, 2010 to 2013, you were the team leader for home runs for a career for that time frame for Sioux Falls. You also, during that time frame, were the team leader for stolen bases. That's impressive to hold that. And then 2010, you also held the single season runs batted in. So you made quite the splash when you went to Sioux Falls. What was the transition like going to Sioux Falls in comparison to the game? Because obviously there's two different levels. What is the transition like? Why was it?
Yeah.
Why did you go into that with that much control coming out of Houston?
Man, at first, Houston, after that year, my agent and me, we didn't get no phone calls for no teams. And, he was like, I don't understand why we didn't get phone calls. I couldn't understand it. So, I went through that one. I think, when I didn't get no phone calls in like February and March came around, I still didn't have no calls. I was in my feelings and stuff. So I was like, from like March into April, it was just like, man, what's going on? Like, I can't get a phone call, can't get no minor league invite, no big league invite, nothing like that. And I was pretty mad about it and stuff like that. Then my agent called me and was like, yo, you want to go to the independent ball? And I never knew nothing about independent ball. So he was like, I got two teams and I got two teams that's looking out for me that want to sign you. He was like, I got one team that's in Sioux Falls, and he's like, I got one team that's in Atlantic League, the Ducks. The Ducks want to sign you, and then I got another team that's in American Association, Sioux Falls. And I was like, okay, Long Island Ducks. I said, okay, that's in New York. Okay, and then I said, what's the other team? He was like, Sioux Falls. And I said, where's that? He was like, South Dakota. And I was like, what? South Dakota? Like, I don't know, no South Dakota, man. He was like, all right. So I was like,
right?
Yeah, I said, let's see the Ducks. Call the Ducks. Ducks dude was like, yo, we don't know about we gonna sign you because we feel like you're gonna get picked up really quick, and because we know who you are and you're gonna get picked up really quick. And so Mike was like, so what does that mean? He was like, we don't know because we was gonna sign you, we picked your spot, and then you don't even make it to spring training with us. So my agent was like, okay, we was like, whatever. So my agent got a call. We called Steve Shirley. He was the manager of Sioux Falls at the time, and Shirley got on the phone, and I told, because I was going through my moping stage and stuff like that. Shirley got on the phone. He was like, yo, I'm gonna pay you this. And I was like, okay. And he was like, one thing I'm gonna tell you, he was like, you're gonna have fun. You're gonna come here. We're gonna get it done. Try to get back to the big leagues. And I was like, okay. First got there, didn't expect the pitching. Like when I first went in, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and kill independent ball. Like this cats can't hold me. So, and like I say, the first two games, first game we struck out 4 times. Struck out 4 times. Hitting a grand slam, but we was winning by 10 runs already. So hit a grand slam in my last at bat. And I sat down to myself and was like telling myself like I told myself, I sat down here and like actually sat down in my locker. And I still remember this. I had a dude that played in Columbus, Georgia with me. His name Bo Tolbert. And I had a cat I came up in the minor leagues named Brandon Singh. And I sat there and was like, bro, I just got dealt for like 4 at-bats. And it was like, man, you have to realize in this game, you got people that's come to independent ball that went through the same thing I went through. Couldn't find a job, couldn't find a major league job, something like that. It ain't just because they don't have no talent. I guess there ain't no jobs for nobody out there, and they couldn't play independent ball. So these guys got just enough talent that we do. So from that day on, it was just like, all right, independent ball is going to be my drive to get back to the big leagues, to show people I need to get to the big leagues. And from then on, I was just like playing the game as hard as I can, try to get back to the big leagues. And like I say, like I said, Dave Clark once again called me when I was in independent ball. I was like, you can't take stuff for granted. He was like, even though if you don't get back to the big leagues, he was like, you still got leagues out there that you can make money and do success for your family, and still can play this game for a good little while. He's like, don't just play for us, play for like everybody. And that was my goal. And I kept playing, and I was actually, actually got an independent ball, and I was having fun again in baseball. And it was about having fun. I had fun. We had fun. We were just having fun out there, and that made me love baseball again. Because for a while I didn't like the game of baseball, because it's like I felt like baseball was like taking it. I felt like everybody was coming down on me, like taking everything that I love away from baseball to make me hate it. And I got to the point like it's just not me. It's a lot of kids that's like that, going through the same situation I'm going through.
Right.
Feel like they didn't get the opportunity to stay in the big leagues, stuff like that. It's a lot of kids out there that do it. I had to get to that mindset that I'm not just the only one. And through the whole season, I was hitting good, and I got to the middle, and I tell you like this is no lie. I got to the middle of the season, and I was like, I seen other cats getting picked out of the league and stuff like that. And I got to the middle of the season, it was just like, all right, if I don't get picked up, oh well, I'm gonna have fun. So that's when I told myself right there, I really don't I cared about getting big leagues and getting back to affiliate ball, but at that time and point, it was just like, I don't care no more. I'm gonna have fun, be Reggie, live my life, take care of my child, and do what I gotta do. So that was it. And that's the time that Jacoby got brought into this world. So I was having fun then, and was having fun, and we was having fun. We was breaking records, hitting home runs, breaking all kinds of records, beating everybody on the ground. And we was like got to the championship game and got swept 3 games. Like, yeah, man.
I quit.
We got swept by a team that should not even beat us. But hey, it is what it is. That's why people love baseball, because you never know. And that's what happened. And from then on, I was just like, I got that mindset, like I'm gonna make the best of these things, to do what I gotta do to just have fun in this game.
No, that's good stuff. I mean, I think a lot of people, and even outside of baseball, struggle with that. And I'm big at this, and you may have heard me talk about this. I'm big on, if you're not loving what you do and enjoying it, then go find something that you can have fun doing it. I don't see the sense in anybody staying into something, whether it's baseball game or their work environment, don't ever stay in a situation that you're not enjoying. If you can't have fun while you're making a living, then what are you doing? Uh, you can't stay miserable.
Exactly.
You made the best of your situation,
Mm.
and that's quite obviously. You left a long list of stats and records behind you, and a long list of fans. You were popular everywhere you went. Um, so
Yeah.
you're a popular person no matter where you go. You make a splash. Uh, so you get through the Sioux Falls era. And 2014, you signed with Winnipeg. What's it like playing in Canada and playing for that type of fan base?
Oh, so the big part about that was I was coming back from Mexico. Situation happened in Mexico. Don't want to talk about that one. Have a situation happened in 2014 happened in Mexico. Um, Guy came back home 2014. I talked to my manager Steve Shirley, and my best friend Ray Sadler was playing in Winnipeg, and he was like, "Bro, it's my last season." He was like, "Try to get to Winnipeg and play with me." And I was like, "I bet. Let me call Steve Shirley." So I called Shirley. I said, "Hey Steve, can you trade me to Winnipeg?" And he was like, "For you, I do anything for you. I don't care if I get if that's what you want to go." He's like, "I don't care if I get a box of balls for you. If you want to go there and you want to play there, because of Ray, because I know you and Ray are like best of friends. Because he always seen me and Ray talking to each other, and we always been best friends through the minor leagues and stuff. So he was like, you want to go there? I'll trade you there." So he ended up trading me to Winnipeg. And when I first played in Sioux Falls, when I went to Winnipeg, every time I played there, they always booed me. Like every time I went there, every time they booed me, they always mess with me and stuff like that. We had this one fan, I forgot his name. It's a black gentleman. He's been there since day one. Like he still goes to them games now. Every time I came on deck, he always, "Reggie, you suck," and like the fans always booed me. So I was like, I always told myself I'm gonna try to kill this team. So I went out there, play hard every time. Every time I did something on they field, I always looked at the fans and go like this. And I always went to my back and went like this. Yeah, you see the name, like went to the back and like see my name, right? So it's like I was always having competition with them. So 2014, I came. Like I said, from day one, for them fans in Winnipeg, day one is like they took me in. Day one, it was like I tell each other I didn't do nothing but be myself, and from day one it was just like they took me in like I was like on the team for the whole year. They rooted for me. Like every time my song came on, the whole fans did like this, like they remembered that. So I'm like, what? So it was just like it was a crazy thing, man. And 2014 was a crazy time, and we had a great team, and they took me in, and like I say, them fans, no matter what I did, you might have like one or two fans if I struck out 3 times. They might have one or two. Reggie Abercrombie, you suck. But you also got like 4 or 5 fans be like, or 10 fans going, "Hey, shut up," telling the dude to shut up or something like that. So, like I say, Winnipeg is the greatest city and the greatest fans I've played in ever. So I love them fans, and you know what I'm saying. I'll take nothing from Sioux Falls. They had great fans, but Winnipeg fans were like loyal to me. They was really loyal.
That's cool stuff. Um, so you obviously had a lot of success there, and that type of fan base definitely helps you stay in the game and stay motivated and stuff like that. Now you helped them win back-to-back championships in 2016, 2017. Where does that rank in your 20 years of playing, being on a back-to-back championship team?
Oh, that ranks pretty high. That's in my top. That's in my top 5. Let's do it back to back. It was like the first one. The first one, I don't even think we supposed to been in the playoffs, but we battled to like the last game of the. We had a double hit on the last game of the season. Ended up winning the first game, and got in the playoffs. And from there, we played Lincoln, won three out of won 3 games from Lincoln, and then went to the championship. And championship game, Game game 1 we won. Game 2 we lost. Game 3 we lost in Wichita. Game 4, I just had a mindset like game 4 I came in.
Game 4, you lit them up.
Yeah, game 4 I came in and was like, came in, told the boys like, yo, we're not going home today. Like, we're not going home. Not going home today. I said, if we win today, we gonna sure win tomorrow. I said, we're not going home. Did a whole speech, told them we ain't gonna lose. And then won game 4, and then game 5 came. It was just like, game 5, I was just like, look, we here now. I said, they done messed up and kept us here in game 5. And so game 5, I was like, I told, like I've never done this in my whole career and never done this. I told, like, I went in there in the whole thing with Colden boys. I had my headphones the whole time, sitting in my locker. And, like, I'm always playing. I'm always the play for one. But game 5, I was just sitting in my locker, chilling, drinking Red Bull, hit BP, came in my locker, listened to my music again. Before the game got started, I just came to them and just told them, had a speech. I talked to them and told them, look, game 5 on me. I'm going to carry us the whole game. And that's what I said. I'm going to carry us the whole game. I said, I'm going to put everybody on my back. I'm going to carry y'all. I'm going to carry us the whole game. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, God willing, luckily I did it. So, if I wouldn't have did it, it would have fell through. I would have dumb in the mud. So, luckily I did it. So
You definitely did it. So in that game, you set a franchise record for the most RBIs in a single game with 7 RBIs. So you definitely put them on your back and carried them through it.
yeah.
So, like I said before, you make a splash everywhere you go, and you leave a trail of records behind you. So, going back to last year, 2019,
Yeah.
I remember watching a game. I watched quite a few of your games last year, watching them on the webcast and stuff, following you. And I know our boss over there, Michael, I don't think they realized how big of a baseball fan I was anyway.
Yeah.
But they're always on me because I'm like, hey, Reggie did this, Reggie hit that. And I know at some point they said something about your batting average and wanted to know why it's so low. I was like, doesn't mean nothing. You can bat 2 out of 3 this game, and Reggie's hitting over 300.
Yeah.
That don't mean nothing. But I was always watching your games. But I remembered there was a game. I don't know, for whatever reason, I thought it was going to be a big game, and I had it on my computer in the house all night watching it. And it was the game that you set the franchise home run record. Knowing that your friend, I believe he was in the game playing too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Knowing your friend had it, walk me through that bat. I think you were like an 0-2 pitch. What was it like to set that record?
Oh, it was, like I said, it was fun. Like I said, my boys pitching on the mound. My other boy, the one that had the record, he was in Lincoln. So he called me that morning and was like, yo, you facing Herring today, right? And I was like, yeah, bro, we already talked last night. He was like, you can't beat my record, man. Let me have something. And I was like, all right, I bet. So I was like, man, because I was like, in my mind, I was like, Herring pitching. So I was like, I'm already done anyway, bro. So you already know. Come at the first at bat, ground out. Second at bat, struck out. Third at bat, struck out. Fourth at bat, game on the line. I'm sitting here like, oh my God. He's still in the game. Like, because the dude, the manager that their manager in Sioux Falls was my pitching coach when I was in Sioux Falls. So he already knew Herring owned me. So he was like, yo, you're going to pitch to Reggie, and then the bullpen, Reggie, he gets Reggie out, we're going to let you keep going. So, like I said, first pitch, inside, foul ball. Next pitch, slider, he got me. And then I step out of the box, I'm like, oh my God, he finna get me again. He finna do it again. I said, all right, just stay short and just try to hit the ball and see what happens. And luckily he hung it and it bagged up and I hit it. And if you see, I didn't really, like when I hit it, I knew I got it, but it was so bad because I was like, I pimped it because it was my boy. But like when I hit it, you could see him like when I'm going halfway, he already walking off the mound. And then I was like, and I slapped him, I was like, man. So I was like, big things, and I was like happy and stuff like that. And to break the record on just a walk off was pretty good for me. It was pretty amazing, and then to do it off my boy, and to have him to text me right after that, like wasn't even mad. Like he texted me like soon it was over. He was like, "Bro, you got me." Man, that was it. It was a great feeling, and I still got and it was on Zombie Night that we have at the field, and everybody comes out. So I mean, to have the jersey, the Halloween jersey still, and I still got the bat, and it is a great feeling. And it was like I said, that was one of my top moments in my career.
Yeah, that's great stuff. It's one thing to set a record like that, and it's another thing to do it as a walk-off to win the game. So you definitely took it with passion. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, great stuff. Having retired at the end of 2019 season, kind of it's twofold for me because I like watching you play and I like looking at the stats. And on the other side of it, I'm glad you did because now I got a great teammate with us working. So having retired at the end of the 2019 season, and you left a long list of stats and records behind you. What's the one thing that you hope that fans will always remember you by?
Just being a great man. That's it. Just being a great player, a great man. I just want to be remembered. Like I don't even like in this life, like I don't even care about, and I'll tell you, like everybody know me, I don't really care about all the stats and all the how people look at me as a baseball player. I just want them to look at me as a man. Like what kind of man am I? And that's the best thing to me, for me in anything. I don't care. I never cared about me playing major leagues. I never cared about, oh, I'm Reggie, the major league ball player. Like I should be things given to me. I just want to be a great man. Just like my dad. Like my dad is a great man. So he's hard on me he's still hard on me to this day. But just to be known as a great man and to be loyal to my friends and be loyal to people that loyal to me. And to be remembered as, I don't want to be remembered as the greatest player to play baseball. I don't want to be remembered as the greatest person to play this sport or hit or something like that. I want to be known as the greatest man and be known as the greatest father I can be. And if I can do that, I don't really care about everything else. You know what I'm saying? If people can go down the line when I pass this world and say, hey, I remember Reggie, man, he was a great dude. Like, he was a great man. He was a great dude, man. That dude gave it all. He was like, you can go down the line and say, yeah, he was a great dude, man. He was a good friend, a great person to know. And then I've done my job and I live my life on this earth, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Reggie. I hear it sometimes that when people refer to other great ball players or race drivers or just people in general in sports, and it never surprises me when people bring up the stats or what championships they've won and these awards and that awards. What I do get surprised is, and it shouldn't be a surprise, but I think it's a surprise because it's not brought up as often as it probably should have. Once in a while, when somebody's talking about a player, you'll hear somebody step in and say, yeah, they did that stuff on the field, but did you know that they did this kind of work off the field? Or they've seen somebody was in need and they did all this stuff. But on the other hand, not a lot of people know that side of that of athletes, because there's a lot of athletes that keep that stuff out, and it's so hard in today's society staying out of social media. But a lot of athletes keep that stuff behind the scenes, and you don't never hear about it. When you do hear about it, it's because somebody leaked it to them.
Yeah, like I love to see athletes like I love to see athletes just do what they have to do. Like take care of your family, take care of everything else. You know what I'm saying? And the main thing I hate about is when you see people like go on social media, record what they do. Like, oh, I gave out $10,000 to that person, and they put it online or something like that, bro. Do it just because. Don't do it because you want people to look at your Instagram. Don't do it because you want people to know, oh, you gave out $10,000 or you gave out $100,000. Do it because you want to do it. Do it because when them lights ain't on or the camera ain't on, do it because you want to do it. Don't do it just because the lights and the camera on. If you want to give $10 million away, give $10 million away. Nobody needs to know, but them people who got that $10 million. And then they go tell somebody, if you're doing, my thing is, if you're doing work in the community or you doing work in this world, people gonna know because people talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I hate when people go online, like be on Instagram, like, oh, I just gave dude 100,000. That's what I do. That's what I do. I mean,
It's
okay,
funny.
so
And
what?
I just seen a video this morning. I was surfing. I was looking for something, and I came across this one, and it was on Instagram. And somebody was they were at a fast food joint, and there was like 5 people working and stuff. And he was standing at the window, and he gave them each $1,000 or whatever it was. But the whole thing's being recorded, and it's not being recorded by him. Somebody standing behind. I mean, I set that up as a, you know, it's a publicity stunt. I'm happy they did it. They're helping somebody out, but for you to broadcast like that, it's a publicity stunt. And on the other hand, on the flip side of that, there's I fully understand businesses doing that when they do stuff like that. And I don't. It's twofold. Yeah, it's publicity, but it's publicity in a good way to show that they're a good community partner. Perfect example, and I'm a huge Yankees fan. Boston Red Sox the other day released that they just gave lifelong tickets to first responders in that community. Nurses and the doctors, and I seen that. And I'm not a huge Red Sox fan, as you know, but I was quick to comment on it. Great job, Boston Red Sox. Stuff like that. I think that's a different approach and style of publicity of doing good, as opposed to the type of we just talked about. So, I mean, I think, knowing you, if I've got to speak later in life, who is Reggie Abercrombie? Hey, yeah, he was a great baseball player, but this dude is funny. He's fun to hang out with. He's so down to earth. He just give you the shirt off his back. I mean, he's going to do whatever needs to do to get through the day and make sure everybody's good. So that's Reggie. That's why
I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
That's why you're a good friend. You got I'm about down through my thing. I appreciate you coming on. I know my podcast is fairly new and I don't have a lot of stuff on there. It was hit and miss. I was trying to get it up in December, and then we got busy doing baseball installs at the parks, and so it was hit and miss. But I'm trying to get this going weekly, at least weekly, or maybe two a week. I definitely want to do some baseball stuff at least once a week, and then I've got fishing stuff with my son Andrew from Andrew Roberts Outdoors. I got stuff going on with him, but love to have you back a couple more times, or at least weekly, and let's kick some baseball stuff. Whatever you want to talk about. I mean, to me, I don't care if I know about the topic or don't know about the topic. If sports, I'm in. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, then. Let's do it.
Oh, good deal. Again, thanks for coming, bringing us some of the personal side for those that followed your career. Let's do it again. And until next time, Reggie, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Charlie.
You have a good day.
You too.